Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Excitech BIM 360 surgery. This is episode 10, and today I'm going to take a look at some of the new updates to the field management module. So, since I promoted this last week, there has been actually two further updates to the surgery, and I'm going to go through all of these today. So actually yesterday there was a major update in functionality to checklist templates and how they work in the system. So I'm going to go to my project hub and I'm going to jump straight into field management. So the new update allows me to create some templates and checklists, and the major change has been that it can now auto create issues when we create a checklist. So I'm going to jump into my template tab and I'm going to show you two ways. So I've got some existing templates, but I'm going to create a new one and just show you the approach, and then I'll edit an existing to show you what can happen there if you've got your existing already created. So I'm going to create a new template and I'm going to give this a name. So I'm just going to go door handover, and I can give it a description, and I'm going to link it into a quality type checklist. And you will now see that there is a new setting here called issue settings, and it says the default is no defaults defined, and then I've got a little button that says auto create. So when I tick this on, it's going to allow me to auto create. So I'm going to go into the no defaults allowed, and you can see that what it can do is, as I have a checklist, and if the checklist item fails a particular item, it will auto create the issue. So I can say that the issue type is going to, let's say, be equality, and from here I can assign the assignee. So I'm going to say that the assignee is myself, or I can switch it that the assignee is Carl and the owner is going to be myself. And then what you've got a little button here that says auto create for non-conforming response. So when the response is non-conforming, it's going to automatically then create the issue. So I click save. We now see that we now have an auto create button. So once you've set up the issue settings, you can then toggle that on or off, and then we can allow a section assignee, or we can require a signature. But I'm going to just leave that as that, and I'm going to click next, and I'm going to go check fire rating, and I'm going to let's see, we'll go door checklist, and then I can go into the items and I can just say check fire rating, and you can choose, this hasn't changed, but you can go true, false, pass, fail. So I'm just going to go pass or fail, and you can see that the auto create button is also here as well, and it's using this issue type to create. So I'm not going to do anything more than that. You can add obviously lots of different sections and areas, but I'm just going to click publish, and that will then publish my door handover. And when I click into my checklists, I need to just publish the checklist. So I'm going to select my door handover and I'm just going to create it. That will shift it into the checklist area, and there I have my door checklist. So you can see here, if I pass it, it's all good. So I can click done. But if I fail it, you will automatically see it's now automatically creating that as an issue. So you can see that it's issue number 52 and the issue is open. I can click it, and there it has automatically created that issue and assigned it onto the checklist. So I'm just going to quickly open up my mobile device, and I'm just going to attach a photo onto it. Okay. And I can just add a door. And then click done, and then just add that into my system. If I just refresh the issue, click into it, click into the attachments, and I think it's just still uploading from my mobile device. I just will refresh my browser. So you can see that really quick. So there's the image of the door I've just taken a picture of. So once it's non-conforming, it automatically creates the issue. So let's look at what if we have an existing checklist. So if we look at our existing templates, I've got one here for, let's say, internal partitions. So I can go in and I can edit. And you can see over under the details section, I can select the drop down, and you can see that you can go in and add in the issue settings, auto create on or off. So if you save it, and if I create that checklist, so as soon as I go no, and no, click done. And we can then track and change. So as we're creating the checklists, the issues are then created off the back of that. So you can then go in and have a look at the issues, and you will see that there's my issue, which has then been automatically created based upon the checklist. So a lot of powerful functionality that can come in to the system. Another new update is that on the checklist screen, they've now added in an issues column. So it can make it very simple for people to just track where they're at on the project. So there's my checklist, but if I want to click straight in, I can just select my issue. It'll give you a list of pending issues, and then again you're in straight away to the issue, to the sign off, and then you can say actually that is now passed. Click done, complete the issue, and then if we just refresh our checklists, you'll see issue is done and completed, and the progress is done. So just sort of again, it's all about access and just linking all the sort of dots together between the different types. So also another update is under daily logs. So there's sort of two bits that has happened here. Is that the first one is that you can control the access to who can see or edit these daily logs. So if I jump into project admin, and let's have a look at this. You can see under field management, I'm in project admin, down onto the field management section I've got a daily log, and you'll see that currently I'm the admin on this, so I've got the type as a user, and the permission you will see that I have as a manager. So if I want to, let's say, put myself and Carl, and I can add them as a viewer, and you'll see when you select the drop down that a manager can edit and publish the logs, and a viewer can only view the log. So I'm going to add both of them to the project, and you can see that once you add them, you then still have the control where you can switch the permissions, and you can also remove them from the project. So you can see that I've set myself as an admin. This is my alter ego under my Gmail address, so I'm set as a viewer. And if I just go into incognito mode and I go to the BIM 360 hub and I sign in, and I sign in under my Gmail address. So now that I've got viewing permissions, when I go to project home and go to the field management, because I'm a viewer, I will be able to view the daily log. So I click into field management, and we look at daily logs. You will see that it says that you've only permissions to view. Editing daily logs requires manager permissions. Contact your local administrator. So I can obviously see the daily log. So if I change the date, let's say to the 18th, I can now see it. So that's a really nice control. So if you want some part of your team to see where you're at, but obviously not adjust or change anything, you set them to be a viewer. So while we're on daily logs, if I click into the field management module again, and we look at the daily log. So this is where we can log our labor rates and people and track everything on the site. So sort of two new little things in here. So you can see that I've got the labor in for today, and if I select my calendar, we will see, I think on the 16th, I've got some in there, but if we go to, let's say, to the 15th, so last Monday, you can see that the labor is blank. But we now have this new little section called copy from previous. So if I click it, it allows me to pick a date. You will see that the dates are highlighted bold when some labor has been added. So if I click, let's say, the 19th, you will see that it allows me to select data to copy. So if my labor on the site in this day has been the same for the last couple of days, it makes it really quickly. So I could say that professional services were here, the sales team and the 360 guys, and then I can click the tick box to include workers and hours, import data, and there you go. You can then publish that out to the team, and again back to the settings. So if they've got viewer access, they can view it. If they've got manage access, they can update and edit. So if we look at, let's say, last Friday, so we can do it manually. So you can see where we can add a labor item. So let's say it's a construction team, so you can still do all that manually, or you can just click copy from previous. And another little button is that you'll see this down on the bottom of the date picker, is that you can use the previous daily log. So if I just click that, and as ever when I'm trying to do something live, it just slows down a little bit. So I'm just going to go back to my hub, sign in again. So you have two controls. One is to copy the complete thing from a date, or you can, so if I just find my project again, and I think it's getting a little bit confused in my system. So there's my project, and then back to my field management, and we look at the daily logs again, and if we pick, let's say, the 15th, or let's pick the 14th, and I'm pretty sure that when I click copy from previous, use a previous daily log, it will then copy it. I think what I did was I was on the 12th, I said previous day, which was 13th, where there was no data. So I can select that, include the hours and workers, import the data. I could say 5 workers and they worked 40 hours in total, and then I can publish that out. So although it's only been 12-13 minutes, there's been quite a lot that's been updated, and all these little things all help to the flow of data. So what we looked at was the ability, when we have the templates, is that we can auto create the issues. So once we create that, you will see under the details, we can auto create. So as soon as something goes non-conforming, pass, fail, yes or no, as soon as you click it, it's auto creating that issue, which is going to really speed up the process of starting to track and snag all these issues. Then we have under the checklist tab, the issues are starting to come through direct in the column, unlike what we had with the docs update, that you can turn stuff. So if you don't want to see them, you just turn them off, or you can go last updated, so you can just start to control all of that. And then on the daily logs, when we're copying the information, so copy from previous, or use the previous day's labor and information. So that's pretty much it for today. Thank you very much all for joining me. I will do another surgery next week, so join me again, and that will be the BIM 360 surgery number 11. So thank you once again. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you all next week.